The reason I first made CSV Getter for Airtable was to allow the automatic export of an Airtable table as CSV. You can get an Airtable table as CSV by using the download CSV button, but you can't automate this because this feature isn't present in the API, or at least it's not without severe pagination. So here we have a tool where basically you can take the keys from your URL, these IDs here, just paste them in here. You only have to do this once. And once you grant the tool permission, by now not using Airtable API key, but something much more secure, a personal access token, you can generate a permanent URL, which will always give you your full base. And now, thanks to handy URL parameters, you can adjust the data format of the base, and you can even generate dynamic tables and graphs. So let me show you these exciting new features. So if you want a personal access token to make an Airtable a CSV Getter URL, this is very easy to do. You just press create token. I'll call it CSV Getter. Add a scope. CSV Getter only needs to read records, so you're restricting the app from having any write capabilities. Again, more secure. And you can also restrict it to one base, the base that you're interested in using with the tool. So I've taken a template base from Airtable. I've chosen the expense tracking one, and I'm going to create my token. So now this can be used in place of the Airtable API key, the old method. So this allows you to generate your URL, and this URL can be used for so many things. And on CSV Getter, you basically now get a wizard where it's always going to show you a response sample based on the parameters you have in place. So specifying type CSV, you're just going to get a vanilla CSV export. And if you use this URL in your browser, for example, you will see it prompts the download of a CSV. So that's it there. It's downloaded the file as CSV and it's named it with a timestamp. But it doesn't just have to be CSV. If you need, for example, JSON in record format, you can just click the JSON records. You can see the parameter here has changed, and the first two rows are shown as they would be in JSON format. And I've got loads of different JSON types here. The other thing is, some people, they like to order the columns that are coming out and indeed restrict them, and it is possible to adjust them by using the calls parameter. And now with the wizard, you can play around with it in the interface here. So enabling the calls parameter, it's going to add a new parameter to your URL. This just samples two columns. So you can see you've got total and who paid, and changing the order of these, for example, who paid and total, is going to adjust the order of the data that came out. So there's ordering and filtering of columns that's available using this tool as well. And now it's no longer just restricted to data. You can create plots straight from URLs. So for example, if I were to choose dynamic plot here, you'll see that the URL no longer becomes an API endpoint for downloading data. It actually becomes an endpoint which hosts a view of your plot, a live dynamic view. So here we've got who paid in the x-axis and total in the y-axis. Because we've got the calls parameter on, these are the only two columns we can use. But we can change that to a bar graph, for example, and it will show you that the plot will change. And this URL can be used in the browser as a kind of external client portal. Maybe you want to show someone some data or a graph, and you don't want them to go into your Airtable to see that. This is live. This updates with the data as it changes in Airtable. But also notice that you can have dynamic table as well, which is a kind of a white label table, which is going to be generated from this data. Now, obviously, disabling the columns here, you can see that we've got all the columns that we need. And this, again, you can embed it in software, for example. There's the iframe code. Or you can just use this URL freely. These URLs are supposed to be dynamic, powerful, always updating. So pasting this one in the browser here, you can see that we've got all the data that was in the base. And then we've also got this handy search functionality as well. Sorry, they're all unique. So if I tweet this, for example, it's going to show just one row of tweets. So, yeah. I'm coming to the end of this video here, only a few seconds left. I hope I've given a nice demo of what's new with CSV Getter and how it's more powerful and secure than before. Please let me know what you think, and good luck.